throttle up.
Oh, hello. How are you doing? I am so confused. Hey, order 97-month resub. Good morning. How you doing? Now that I have my coffee, I'm ready to watch rockets. I was doing good until about an hour ago. Now, not so much. Are you okay? Hi? Rocket where? There is a rocket engine in the picture, okay? Hey, look, it's got jet engines and rocket engines. It's practically Star Raker. Alright, so... Alright, so this is a live shot. This is coming from NSF, which is coming from Virgin Galactic's feeds. This is a live shot of VSS Unity and VMS Eve. The twin fuselage Eve is going to launch Unity up on a suborbital flight trajectory. It's going to fly to high altitude, it's going to let it go, and it's going to shoot it off up into space, X-15 style. This is the Virgin Galactic O2 mission. It's a suborbital transport plane. Well, not transport. It's suborbital tourism plane rocket thing. And that other plane that they were showing, that two-seater, the two-seater extra, I think it was, is a chase plane. This is a tourism flight, but it is really freaking cool. Tourist trap? I wouldn't call it a tourist trap. I mean, tourist trap implies you don't get your money's worth. I mean, this looks like fun. Where's Jim the Cricket? Gone. Gone. Reduced to ashes. I don't know. I don't know where he went.
The last flight of Unity was flown mostly by Italians, except for the Virgin Galactic.
Sì, sparo, chiedo tu mica sei
And this time around, they are the ones on VMS Eve. So they're not going to go to space today, but they're going to have that important task of carrying Unity to that.
You are a few seconds behind. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Not. No. Alright, I'll fast forward. Morning, cheesiest man. How is your cheesiness doing today? Vaporized. Blown out to sea. A body can do that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Plan on going on vacation? Yeah, I was thinking Maui. Oh, forget Maui. So the extra, I think that's an extra, I'm not sure. But it is a two-seater, and that's the chase plane. And, yeah. Ooh, Maui, oh no. So, right now, they do not have their transponders on. I know because if we look over at ADSB, over around Spaceport America, there is nothing. Oh. You had to wait until I said it, huh?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
We have a question here.
Burps.
From...
Oh, look at that.
And we have the roll.
V1.
There we go. You can see it speeding down the runway here.
Rotate.
Look at that.
Positive
gorgeous
rate.
Shot there. And
Gear up. V2.
Have liftoff.
That's
it
the hangar.
On its way.
Hey, that's cool.
Oh,
Look at that.
It's a beautiful sight.
So check this out. We got the mothership is a twin hull design, right? So there's two fuselages, and there's 4 engines on that thing. And then in the center, you have the Unity, and Unity has a solid rocket motor in the back. So, you know the party's going to start when that thing goes. But here's the cool thing. Any Fast and Furious fans out there? You know the little red button? You got to push the little red button. What does that do? That's the Go Fast button. That SRB has the Go Fast button. Yeah, it has the Go Fast button. It's a nitrous injected solid rocket booster. Hybrid. Oh yeah. Very nice. That thing climbs quick. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what engines the mothership uses. I think they're CFM56s. I think. Oh, and there we go. Check it out. They have their transponder on. If we look at the ADS-B, there's the transponders for both aircraft right there, for the mothership and for the carrier. There we go. Now it's going to be on a little bit of a climb here, but yeah, pretty cool. That movie's Too Fast and Too Furious for you? Oh, okay. NOS! By the way, don't call it NOS. That's clown shoes. Nitrous. Call it nitrous. Nas is a rapper. Nitrous is the Go Fast button, okay? Said forget about a cuh. Said forget about a cuh. Hot box, your pockets ain't empty, cuz. Peep, you want to hear something funny? I was at a car parts store the other day, and they had nitrous in the fridge, and I took a nitrous out of the fridge, and I put it on the counter, and I said, if I pour that in my gas tank, will my car go faster? I said it with a straight face, and the clerk was like, I get it, and I was like, I'm serious. And they're like, what? I'm like, nah, I'm just kidding. 2 years long back. I'll die before I go back. There we go.
This is absolutely gorgeous.
I got nah, I'm just kidding. They were like, you know what? They were like, the kid was like, yeah, you scared me for a second. I'm like, yeah. Good.
Opposed to normal planes, which just keep climbing in almost a straight line in a way, unless ATC turns them. They have a certain area in which they are.
Discovery.
I put nitrous into SLS's SRBs. Will it fly faster? No, nitrous doesn't work unless the propellant is. So you need. So the thing with solid rocket boosters is that you need the proper proportions. Okay, the mixture on this hybrid SRB that's on Unity right there is different than, despite using similar solid rocket propellant, right? It's different than like SLS's SRBs or the shuttle SRBs, okay? The reason is because you're really screwing with your oxidizer content when you deliver nitrous, right, into the SRB. Now, just like a car, when you spray the nitrous with a car, right? That's a really nice picture, by the way. When you spray nitrous with a car, you have to spray more fuel. They can't spray more fuel. So that SRB with no nitrous is designed to burn super fuel rich. So the mixture is a little bit different. Long story short, hitting nitrous into SLS's SRB would probably cause problems with, I don't know, O-rings. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I wouldn't do that at all. The mixture is very, very important. Just like if you spray nitrous into a car without adding extra fuel delivery systems, well, you go and visit Rodney real quick. Any car guys out there? You know who Rodney is. You do not want to meet that guy. Yep, flight radar, they are turning. Chase plane is in the air. Please don't O2 rich, N2O rich your SRB. Yeah, Orion, that sounds like a bad idea. Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that. You'll hit 88 miles an hour real quick. The design is very cool, yeah. Rodney will say hi through a window in your block. Hey, hi mate, it's me, Rodney. Like, oh no, I don't like you. Meeting Rodney or Barry R ain't great feelings. Nope. Storm, you see what, quick side note, you see, What Cleater did to that too, Jay. Respect. Senpai, notice my mediocre resub message. 101 months. Walt Disney's 101 DAL resubs. I'm noticing it, J-Speed. Kind of wish I hadn't, but... I'm noticing it. Kind of wish I didn't. You know. You have good sub messages? No? That'd be a lot cooler if you did. Look at that plane, man. That's really freaking cool. I get it, you know, it's suborbital tourism. I understand that. But also, this is really amazing. Is that White Knight 2? It uses Pratt & Whitney 308s. 7.62 rocket meters. Full hybrid SRB. Huh? That's something different. That is VMS Eve, I think is what it's... not I think, that's what it's called. It's VMS Eve. VMS Eve. Let's take a look. That's a really, really nice picture.
The motor just basically shut down after the drop. So they dropped, they tried to light the engine, it shut down, and they just basically light it down to the runway. Just, you know, that's sort of.
Now, does this vehicle have an abort? What do you mean?
Seriously,
the abort. The abort for the mothership is land. For this,
you know, that's also one of the
I don't think they have a purge system for that SRB. Although I will say this. You know, thinking about the ascent corridor for this thing and the nitrous tank, guys, the nitrous tank might be that might be your shutoff. You need for the rocket engine to work, you need three things to party, all right? You need your fuel, you need your oxidizer, and you need spark. Fuel, air, spark, just like a car. I mean, it's a little more complicated with rockets, but if they shut the nitrous off, the SRB probably flames out, if I had to guess, or at least gets to it wouldn't inert it completely, but if they did their mixtures right, and actually that's pretty damn smart. If they need to abort, they can just shut the nitrous off. That's why it has a hybrid SRB, so you can shut it off. Smart. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a guess. I don't know if that's right. It's probably not. But also, that does explain why you would use a hybrid here. Rip, I wish I knew this was happening 50 miles from there right now. Semi, where are you? Are you in Cruces? Or TOC? I mean, because you'll see it. You'll see it. It'll look like an airplane going way up there. Wings Wednesday idea right here. Here's a couple more information of folks on board. Oh, it was a sweepstakes. That's pretty cool. Aberdeen, yep. Cool. That's neat. Yeah, Cruces. Yeah, right on, man. I mean, dude, look north. You'll be able to see it, man. Actually, semicolons, you know, I was down there last year for Spaceport America Cup. This is a really, really beautiful part of the country, dude. The Red Rocks is what did me in. I'm like, what the heck? That canyon that looks like Mars. That's cool. I dig it. You know what I'm talking about? If you're going over to TOC, you have to go through Elephant Butte right here and go by the dam and stuff. That drive up that road to get out to Spaceport America, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Like, the scenery is just, it's It's so different than where I'm from, you know? It really is a beautiful drive. Yeah, and then you get onto this step right here, and then there's nothing. There's nothing for miles. Red rocks. Yee! And then, you know, you have that mountain range, and then there's the fun stuff over there, you know what I'm saying? Jack is doing the hard work. Going there is a lot. Jack's a freaking legend, Sword. Jack is a really cool dude. We got to hang out, like, in voice, a little bit after the Starship static fire. Yeah. Jack and I are friends. Like, do karate in the garage. Friends, yeah. Like, we just become best friends. Yup. Want to go do karate in the garage? Yup. How long is the flight? 10, 15 minutes for the mothership. Dude, this thing goes. And I'll tell you once again, that SRB in the center that's on the ship that says Virgin Galactic, it's nitrous injected. This thing goes, dude. It goes. It just it looks like a missile going up into space. It's really cool. He likes trains too. I didn't ask that. Want to put a cop car engine in a classic truck in the garage? Yup.
On the next flight, and also on board.
Yeah, see, over on NSF, that's Ryan there.
From Virgin Galactic.
Ryan Sawyer, and Alex are doing the commentary today.
Which they can then obviously improve for later flights.
Look at that view.
That's amazing. And as you mentioned, yeah, the first flight was primarily Italian military, so this is, I believe, the first
Okay, closer.
official paying all civilian mission. In
Yeah,
this
it can do
instance.
experiments, Nova. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And also worth note, John Goodwin was, I believe, one of the original, or one of the earliest people to buy a ticket for Virgin Galactic, now getting the chance to fly. While we
And
have...
see the sun. Sorry, but I was just.
What's the camera mounted on? Mepoko, this is from the ground. I'd have to ask in NSF's back channel. I think this is Jack filming this. Hey Zori, what's up, man? Also, how much is it? I'm not sure how much these prices are. Doom, this is all on contractual. Like, buying a ticket on a spacecraft nowadays isn't like buying a plane ticket. It's a contractual thing, like buying a condo. So, prices vary, dude. That's what I noticed, dude. Anytime you're getting into contracting work and, you know, anything that's contractual, everything's negotiable. Unless stated by parties. So, prices of tickets to go on, like, New Shepard or Virgin Galactic or something, they're a la carte. The price changes. I'm sure there's a firm bottom for that price, but none of that really gets disclosed. I will tell you, this is probably the least inexpensive way to get near space. This or New Shepard. Yeah. Considering a plane ticket will get you to like 40, 50,000 feet, this gets to like 300,000 feet. Well, yeah, that's about right. It's close enough. Hello, what a fantastic view. Not you, the plane. I mean, you're a fantastic view, but... Wow, you gotta make it weird. I mean, thank you, and I get it, but also... Why you got... I didn't. I thought it was something like getting in touch and paying 300K. No, it's all contractual stuff. Yeah. Quartz? What the hell, man? No, you can be weird here. It's fine. Jack Baconsman Buyer. Yep. Let's see. What altitude is the plane at right now? The mothership is at 34,000 feet. It is climbing at 700 feet per minute. Heading 159. Ground speed, 266 knots. That is not a lot of speed. This plane is black, pause not.
If the oxide...
Do you think a scaled up version of the type of launch vehicle could work? So, just like Star Raker, T-Man, a scaled-up version of this could work. We can make a bigger plane. Sure. The question is, can we make a bigger runway? That's really what limits plane size nowadays, guys. Look at the A380. The A380, I mean, Airbus wanted to make a bigger plane. They wanted to make something to compete with the 747, but you couldn't make something bigger than the 747. You know why? The 747 is as big as, like, most airplane gates and runways. There's not infrastructure around to be able to support a plane that's twice the size of a 747 or an A380. So Airbus's solution was just stack 2 rows on top of each other instead of just a little bit like the 747 up at the front, right? That was their solution to compete. An A380 is not that, like, if you're looking at it from the top down, it's not that much bigger than any other plane, than any other wide body. But it can hold way more people because it's a double decker the entire way, which is freaking cool. I'll say that it's freaking cool. It's just, and I'm saying this as a Boeing fanboy. It's a shame they don't make those anymore. Like, that really bummed me out. Could you use that Stratolaunch plane? Well, yeah, sure, Cryolox. All right, so let's put this into a little bit of perspective here, guys. So let's think about it for a moment. Think about it. We're already like, what, 20 minutes into the stream? And I'm already getting you thinking. Okay, so Stratolaunch, this, Doom, you asked what the drop altitude is? It's above 40,000 feet. I forget what it was. I covered the Galactic 01 mission on NASA spaceflight. I forget exactly what it was. But, so, this thing can go up to 40, 50, let's say it can go to 50,000 feet. All right, I think it can, I think it might drop there. I'm not sure. So, 50,000 feet going 271 knots. Now, remember that you're in a Stratolaunch design, you're carrying the second stage. Okay? You're carrying the second stage. So the carrier ship is your first stage, right? I think that's a fair assessment. Now, 50,000 feet, 270 knots. Does that compare at all to a first stage? Let's compare it to Falcon 9's first stage. Falcon 9 has main engine cut off 2 minutes 30 seconds into flight, going like 5,000 kilometers an hour. Yeah, like 5,000 kilometers an hour. At what? 80, 90 kilometers up, which that's 325,000 feet, I think. I pulled that one out of my tail. It's somewhere up there. So 50,000 feet at 270 knots, 300,000 feet going like, well, let me do some math. Be like 2,000 knots. See the difference? So, to make up for the fact that that thing can't fly where a first stage goes, right? You need to carry a bigger stage. So now you need a bigger first stage and a smaller second stage. So you already are making a first stage. The point is, with Stratolaunch, it only really works if you're launching something tiny, if you're launching something small to get into space, like, unfortunately, like Virgin Orbit. Virgin Orbits was a great idea. They had a pretty good little small sat launcher, right, with a pretty good upper stage. It was only designed to move, like, maybe engine block-sized payloads into space, and that's about it. But that's smart, because your launch pad, in this case, is the 747. It's not the first stage. You have a 2-stage vehicle, right? So, the 747 being the launch pad, well, 747s are a lot easier to maintain than a damn launch pad is, because there's a lot more parts available if something goes wrong. That's why that idea was so smart. I'm really, really bumming that that Virgin Orbit kind of went out. But, good news regarding that, Stratolaunch bought Cosmic Girl. They bought that 747, which is pretty cool. So, that won't be the last we see of 747 launched payloads going up into space, which is great. That really makes me happy. And it's mobile. Yeah, AP, you can move your launch pad anywhere you want. Thinking about it like that is a little bit better, right? You don't want to think of the carrier ship as your first stage. You want to think of it as your launch pad. And in doing that, now you got to carry a first stage and a second stage. Could any plane in the world lift a Falcon 9 fully fueled? No, absolutely not. Not even close. You need to build a much bigger airplane. and there's no facilities for said bigger airplane. That's the deal with stratolaunching. So, if you have to build a much bigger airplane, like something that's 4 or 5 times the size of a 747, right? What's the point of making an airplane the launch pad? Building basically something like Slick 40 or 39A that flies around at 30,000 feet is way harder than just building the launch pad down here. When it comes to small sat stuff, it makes sense. But not with big vehicles. That's the problem. Stratolaunch doesn't scale very well. It doesn't scale. The reason why people even do Stratolaunch, well, this one for tourism is kind of cool. And personally, I think they should use this to do suborbital hops. I mean, you want to get halfway across the United States in 15 minutes? That's a good idea, right? I think that's a really cool idea. That's a really good solution. Suborbital hops, right? And if you built something like this with a low boom, like on the X-59, no sonic booms. But that's easier said than done, you know? So Stratolaunch doesn't scale very well. You can't... the scale that comes from Stratolaunch comes from being able to launch a lot. If you have a Stratolauncher and you don't launch it a lot, even then it's still not profitable. I'm talking about physical scale. It is harder to build a plane that moves a fully fueled 2-stage rocket up to 30,000, 40,000 feet. That's difficult. It's really hard to do. Okay, we have a track on White Knight here on VMS Eve. It is actually, it's over Cruces. Semi, you here? It's just northwest of Cruces right now. Take a look, dude. See? This is on ADSB Exchange. It's actually near. Well, I mean that's not near it's not close, but it's close to New Mexico scale. That might as well be in another state where I'm from. So they're circling around. Barrow indicated altitude here is 41,225 feet at 278 knots. Climb rate is 576 feet per minute. Heading 283, turning right. Oh, is that the chase plane underneath them? It is not the chase plane. Okay, there's about a 20,000 or 30,000 foot difference between those two, so yeah, that guy's just chilling. Is ADSB Exchange different than Flight Radar 24? I like ADSB. I use this. Now Flight Radar is good, don't get me wrong. I like how ADSB is basically the raw information. You can get all this on Flight Radar, but I don't know. I like ADS. ADSB is really, really cool. And it's kind of scary how accurate it is. I use ADSB when I'm flying. If I can get onto a plane's Wi-Fi, I use it while I'm flying, which is pretty nuts, dude. And it's accurate within a second. Yeah, easily accurate within a second. Like, dude, the last time I flew back from the bachelor party, I had ADSB up, and I was literally watching what the plane was doing. And I was watching the plane on approach into Logan and looking out and looking back and looking out. I'm like, this is pretty spot on. It's pretty damn accurate. I live very close to the approach for YUL, and ADSB is indeed very accurate. Yep. Dang it, boss. I paused the stream twice trying to click on things. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, here. I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link to it. I like ADSB. Flight Radar is good, though. I don't mind Flight Radar either. When is T0? They're looking at a drop, actually, probably about 10 minutes, probably a little less. But yeah, they're up over 40,000 feet, 296 knots. They're really goosing that thing. And we still didn't figure out what engines that thing has. Hold on. It's Pratt and Whitney PW300s. What engines are those? What are the planes use those? All right, well, here, excuse me, I'm gonna be P&W PW300. Oh, look at that little guy. All right. Oh, okay, okay. Gulfstreams, Dassault Falcons. Oh, Cessna Citations. I love that plane. I flew the crap out of that thing in flight sim, but that was not a longitude. I like the CJ4. What's the difference between Virgin Orbit and Galactic? Well, the name. No, Zymus, they're two different companies. This is something that I like to tell people. You know, Virgin Galactic and Virgin Orbit are two separate companies that are they're child companies of the Virgin Group. So they have similar names, but they're two separate companies that are under the same kind of brand name. That's the difference. They're two separate companies. Virgin Orbit was trying to establish scalable small sat launching. So launching a lot of small sats using that 747, that didn't work because it failed. The rocket failed too many times. Failure is very costly, no matter who you are. Virgin Galactic is aiming at the suborbital tourism market by launching people up into space. Only for a second. They're not getting anywhere near orbit. It just goes up and then comes right back down, which is cool. The specific engine used is the PW308A. Yep. SpaceX should launch in Ecuador's tall mountain range, being equatorial. We just need to make better diplomatic relations with the country. Ripari, why would we do that? Falcon 9 can get to pretty much any orbit from its multiple launch pads in Florida and California. Why would we add the complication of being able to move a booster up a mountain? It's the same argument as strata launching. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, that'd be cool, but what do I search for on that site for the plane? Type in November 348 Mike Sierra. That's the tail number on the mothership. Get some extra sleep? Nah, I've been dealing with some family stuff. But, yeah. I was thinking Starship has to launch somewhere, but I guess supply chain is the most important. That's something to consider. That's why not everybody just launches at the equator, right? I mean, there's the diplomatic part of it, no doubt. But, the supply chain of getting a Falcon 9, all the personnel, all the technicians, all the way down to Ecuador, getting it to Florida is a little bit easier. Like, the argument there, Rip Harry's like, make a bigger first stage and just get to where you need to go. Strata launching itself doesn't give you much in terms of efficiency in comparison to a conventional rocket. Yeah, Rocket Guy, I was telling you, this was right before you came in. I was telling everybody that strata launch is not very scalable because you can't just make a bigger plane, right? You can't just do that. And if you make a bigger plane, you're going to increase the complexity to a point where you're not going to be using off-the-shelf components anymore, negating any usefulness of the strata launchers. You're basically negating the positives of strata launching in the first place because you can't just make a bigger plane. That makes, if you're going to make a bigger plane, well, heck, it's easier to make a complicated launch pad on the ground than it is to make a complicated launch pad that flies at 45,000 feet, right? Especially one that needs a gigantically long runway. There are long runways around, but we're talking a 300-foot wide runway that's miles long. There's not many of those, right? So now you're limiting your takeoff points. It's time to wake up. Another issue, right? At one point, just go Star Raker and bring the whole plane with you. Yeah, so you either have to go for broke, right, or keep it with off-the-shelf stuff. What does the base plane use with Strata Launcher? An Airbus, a Boeing, an Embraer? Strata Launcher is a custom design. It's a one-off plane. the Rock. It is a one-off plane built from leftover 747 components. Yep. I'm serious. Go look at it. It's got 747 landing gear. It's got 747 engines. It's got 6 of them. It's leftover 747 parts. Seriously. Yeah. Not that one, though. That one is made by Skilled Composites. It is a custom design using off-the-shelf engines. And probably landing gear, too. But the fuselages are all custom made. I mean, similar with Stratolaunch. But, hey, there's an onboard here.
Side views of the crew aboard VSS Unity.
It's got 747 tires, 747 engines, 747 brakes. It's a model made before emission standards, so it'll run good on regular jet fuel. What do you think? Is it the new Stratolauncher? Fix a cigarette lighter.
You're correct on that. And I always love this view just inside here, which they first showed us during Flight 01.
What time is the launch?
All of
We
the
should be
windows
approaching
and
launch very soon,
surrounding
Tom.
It's really a cool vehicle.
And don't worry, the ship hasn't suddenly extended into 2 parts. At the back, that is a mirror. So the ship is much shorter than it looks from this perspective.
Yeah, there's a nitrous tank behind that mirror, and then the solid rocket booster behind that, which is... That's pretty neat. There are internal cameras here and here, but yeah, the inside, you know, you got big, gigantic windows. Guys, I want to point out here, designing a plane with this many windows is not easy to do. Windows are a plane's mortal enemy. That's why the windows on a passenger jet are so ridiculously small, and don't you hate how they're not spaced correctly with the damn seats? So annoying when you get a window seat and the window is between the window's like right next to the guy's seat back in front of you. It's really freaking annoying, actually. Hey, W, what's going on? Like, designing that many windows into a fuselage, because windows are points of weakness. It's tough to do. Hybrid engines are just so weird, what they have to do to make it stable combustion. And hypergol, yikes. Who are these people? 2 of them are people that won a sweepstakes to launch, and one of them is Virgin Galactic's astronaut trainer, and one of them is a guy by the name I forget the other one's name. The other one's names, and forgive me. John Goodwin is a paying passenger. He bought his ticket in 2005 when Spaceship One made it into space.
In order to get
Will you ever play Flight Simulator again? Yeah, probably in the future.
the ship, but you begin under the mothership. So it's all just to try and get that maneuver out of the way.
I see the lineman is from airliners squeezing in more seats, by the way.
Safety zone confliction or anything like that.
Yeah, it really helps with that angled chamber. You also have the.
Do you think Spin Launch has a leg to stand on? Google seems to think so. They invested in it, so we'll see. But yeah. Can you explain why they do the whole rotate the wings thing? The feathering? It's a gigantic speed brake, AP. It's a speed brake to mitigate re-entry heating. Yeah. The whole back of the mothership, right? It tilts up like this. And basically that makes it so you basically put your stabilizers 90 degrees to the fuselage of the plane. And when you do that, that makes the plane, the bottom of the fuselage, want to fly first instead of the nose of the plane flying this way. The plane basically comes down at 90 degrees, and because your stabilizers are 90 degrees, it's going to try to make the fuselage fly this way, making a gigantic speed brake. It turns the entire vehicle into a huge brake. They do that to slow the thing down so it doesn't get compression heating. Hey, Tech, what's going on? Yeah, it's not a bad idea, really. It's a really good idea. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. That's not really gonna work too well for like a space shuttle. That's not a good idea. That feather won't work too well if you're going Mach 25. If you're going like Mach 2, Mach 3, something like that, that's not bad. I don't think this thing gets anywhere near Mach 3, but yeah, basically when you're on a suborbital hop like this, not a bad idea. But I'm not entirely sure that would work without, like, more of a thermal protection system, like tiles and stuff. Let's hope they don't unlock the feather too soon. Don't. Dama, that's bad juju. Don't bad juju during the launch. Not cool. Don't do that.
Landing on a runway for a glider, but also you have a safe re-entry.
Not a ton tech.
Stable re-entry, just like a capsule, in the sense that you don't need to have anything else other than, yeah, the wings rotate to feathering position.
Why is there a mirror at the back there?
Just like that, and don't need to
Knowing Virgin Galactic, it's probably there to make the vessel appear bigger than it is.
On its own.
It's such a unique system. It's really cool to see, and hopefully we'll get lucky enough after they ignite the engines and everything to see the maneuver.
They haven't launched yet, Hawk.
It appears we may have an updated idea of when we can expect drop. Ryan, what are you hearing?
So the clock that we've gotten from Virgin Galactic, I've just done mathematics, looking at approximately an 11:22 Eastern time conversion. That would be 9:22 Mountain time, where this flight is currently taking place. For UTC people out there, that'll be 15:22 UTC. That's an approximate time that I've calculated from the clock we are getting from Virgin Galactic. So what's the time now? That'll probably be in
maybe quarters.
15 minutes time. That's what we're expecting.
Dude, I tell you what, man. If I was on this thing, I wouldn't be looking at me in the mirror. I see me every day in the mirror. I don't need to see me. I'd be looking out the window.
To 60 minutes.
There we go. So now we are getting much closer to what we can hopefully see will be the drop, the ignition of the engine, and more people going to space.
All right.
Do you want to take
some thumbs up from the crew there quickly at the back? John showing the OK sign to Beth in front.
Yeah, probably doing the last few.
Look at the shadow.
Are you okay? Are you
they're
good to
turning
go?
for final alignment for the drop.
And it actually looks like John has got his own. John's got his own headset in the back there. Look at that! Awesome. Everyone else has got in-ears. John's got his own over-ear headphones. Proper pilot.
There you go. Do want to thank a couple people here as well for the support during this stream. David Rivas, thank you for becoming a Pad Rat member. Jim Cavett, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. King Air 619, thank you for becoming
Ninja,
a Capcom member.
Vehicle.
Reminder, Capcom and above get access to the Discord, so hopefully we'll see you there. We have Stefan, thank you for becoming a Pad Rat member. Jim Cavett, thank you for gifting 5 more Red Team memberships. And Hack Illuminate 63, thank you for upgrading to Red Team membership.
Hey, discount.
We have a question here from Adrian.
Thanks for the raid, buddy.
Adrian. Do we know what type of propellant this spacecraft uses? Alex, I'll put this one over to you.
Let's see if they know.
I do know the oxidizer. I think it is nitrous oxide, but I cannot remember right now the
It's a
type
discounted
of,
raid. Hey,
fuel
thanks.
that it uses. I can find it real
What's
quick.
going on?
Though,
You guys are just in time.
because I think they actually change it.
Why aren't we
multiple
watching
times
Virgin
over
Galactic's
the
live stream? You want to do that? They're usually a wee bit cringe there, mate.
The record still stands today. I seem to attract myself to these sort of things. When I got diagnosed with Parkinson's, I thought, well, that's it. They're not going to accept me.
We're going to space despite the Parkinson's.
This attitude of space for all is a wonderful thing.
Hearing his story makes me realize.
And as you mentioned, yes, this vehicle has gone through many iterations, quite a few design changes. As you mentioned, the engine and fuel there having been something they've worked on in the past to get to the point where we are now. So it's been a...
Jack left Starbase yesterday morning, by the way. Yeah, that's what happens when you have a working vehicle.
Tim and Matt Travel, thank you for the support. Also asking Ryan, do you think the crew on board the ISS will be watching?
I shouldn't. Like, I know I shouldn't do that. I know I'm being a
Guess
dick.
that the crew on board the ISS are probably going to be a little bit busy with their work at the moment, and it's not going as high as the ISS. ISS orbits around, if I recall correctly, about 400 kilometers. This is only going to be going up to around 80, so it's a big difference in altitude. And yeah, the ISS also would need to be directly overhead New Mexico. They'll probably need a pretty good zoom lens as well. So
I have made
think
a
it's gonna
severe
be
and continuous
extremely unlucky
lapse in
any members of
judgment.
The ISS crew are going to be watching.
It's all right, man. It's all right. You know, it would probably be better to show you. Like, I could sit here, Salyut, and I could say there's a reason why we have NSF on, but I can only show you the door. You've got to be the one that has to walk through it.
Such as the recent Cygnus launch.
Cygnus?
We are now coming up on about 12 minutes until the expected release time. That is expected again at 9:22 Mountain Time.
You know what's messed up? Like, I don't mean to mute them again. I would rather watch a live shot of a rocket nozzle than watch like the hype beast videos that they have. Like, nothing against that. I would literally rather watch this. This is more entertaining to me. I understand that's not what you need to do when you're a commercial space flight company trying to sell your product. I understand that. But I'm not here to buy. I'm here to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna keep going with this. Like, see, I could watch this shot all day. This is pretty neat.
As I said earlier, quick plug, we have a video.
In my totally unbiased opinion, NASA spaceflight is the best. Yeah, of course. Of course it is. Duh. Yeah, I agree. What are you expecting me to disagree with you? You want to go back? You want to go back to this cringe fest? Oh, look, they're still doing it.
It's our mission. This is for all of us.
Okay, Keisha's reaction to being told she's going to space just embodied an incredible amount of excitement. And to make Keisha's experience even more remarkable, she chose her youngest daughter, Anastasia Myers, astronaut 13, a college philosophy and physics student, to be her companion. Let's get to know Anna.
Every time I look at the stars, it almost feels like I have a place in the universe. It reminds me that, like, everything happens for a reason.
No. I mean, sure that's pretty interesting, to be honest with you, but I like this.
I have the schematics in front of me. I'm not sure if it has flaps, as in the aero surfaces that
nice shot.
come off in order to increase the surface area to make flight at slower speeds more stable. Obviously, it has your elevators, your rudder, your aileron. That's what the mothership has, and Spaceship 2 doesn't have a traditional rudder, and also I guess on the mothership the rudder is split over both fuselages, but yeah, I don't believe either has flaps in order to reduce the
They got some
minimum
pretty
speed.
bad vortexes if they have that smoke. Like, and these are contrails. Contrails happen from atmospheric conditions. The reason why they happen... Okay, so think about this. You get condensation coming off the back of the wings. You know why? Differential pressure. What does pressure do to gases? Pressure can cause phase change in gases, right? So those wings are flying through a particularly cold atmosphere at this altitude, right? And the wing is compressing the air underneath it and heating it up. That gets it to condense. Well, no. Top of the wing, cold. Sorry, I got it backwards because I'm an idiot. It's still early and I need more coffee, but that's what causes that. That's nothing to do with the vortexes that are coming off the thing. I mean, you can get vortexes, you know, in a contrail, but yeah, and the jet engines too. That probably has something to do with it as well.
Seconds, plus minus a couple of seconds here and there. And once it shuts down, it'll go into that coast phase of, you know, going.
That wasn't the best
apogee.
explanation,
They'll
guys.
feel
Sorry, I'm still waking up.
The zero G and everything. They'll be able to unstrap and look through the windows at the Earth and everything. The feathering system will be also activated at that time after that burn is ended. Once they go into the thinner parts of the atmosphere, and it actually helps on the whole ship to be able to sort of.
What I meant is there are
rotate as
vortices
it-
way
as it
back behind the plane. You
looks
can
back
see them in
onto
the contrails.
onto Earth, and with that feathering system deployed, once they go back through
What?
the atmosphere,
What?
it'll help them to
Where are you
pass
seeing a
the
vortex
descent,
here? I
through
don't see any
the
vortex.
atmosphere.
This is definitely disrupted air, right?
And
But
then once
you,
they are sufficiently down through the
those are the most common contrails and are formed when hot jet exhaust cools rapidly in the upper atmosphere. That's it, dude. Yeah, sorry. The wings do it too, but you have to be going a lot faster for the wings to do it. The water vapor from the engine exhaust condenses and may freeze, forming ice crystals. Under certain conditions, mainly when the air is humid and the aircraft is at a lower altitude during takeoff, the reduction in pressure over the wing can cause the ambient water vapor to condense. That's, yeah. Sorry, I got my altitude wrong, but yeah, Rocket Guy is, as usual, correct. I don't see anything swirling back here, dude.
Before the drop, excuse me, itself.
No, Rocket, it's fine. My explanation was dog crap.
What's going on and how the drop procedure actually works.
Look at the furthest point in the trail to see the swirls. Those aren't swirls. That's the plane doing this, guys. It's the plane going up and down.
So when the pilots...
Not close to the plane. Wait, but I'm... Okay, fine. Don't believe us. All right, that's cool.
I'm not sure on the exact system, but
It's
I
the
know
plane
for
going
the
up and
sister
down,
company,
guys.
Virgin Orbit, it was a manual process.
The plane isn't
buttons they
flying
had to press in
perfectly
the cockpit, so I'm
parallel,
gonna
right?
assume
Planes
similar
go
with,
up and down.
with
There's slight
Virgin Galactic.
variations, and that's what you're
Do
seeing.
that, and then once
when
they
the plane
drop,
goes down, the
they,
contrails
both pilots agree
look like
everything
they're
looks good.
swirling.
They'll both
They're
pull
not.
fire, and at that point they will ignite
It was delayed. No, it wasn't.
the hybrid engine at the back of the spaceship. If everything looks good with that, they'll keep on that. They'll start climbing
like
up
that.
towards
God, that's
space,
pretty
and
cool.
they'll keep on
You're
climbing,
talking
keep
about
on
that
climbing
over
until they
there.
run out of
The
propellant.
contrail
From there, the
goes
engine will
up
shut down.
and
They'll
down
have
and
a
up.
few minutes, they'll
It
do
kind of
different
does look like a
backflips
swirl. I'll
at
give you that. Like
apogee, so
but there's no. Oh,
you down on Earth.
Oh, there
And
we
it
go.
looks
We
like
have release.
we have release. This is Jack's feed, I believe, and the two feeds are a little bit different, but we have release of
goes.
Spaceship 2.
There we go. Yes, it has
Fly,
been dropped.
baby,
You can
fly.
see that single engine that we showed firing in the back there as it works its way up to space. Again, that is expected to get up to an altitude of about 80 kilometers, which should provide the crew, once they get there inside, about...
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. The cut-down nozzle's doing work. So check this out. You guys want to see something cool? Look at the nozzle is asymmetric. See that? The reason why it's asymmetric is because it's designed to release exhaust gases upward before it releases exhaust gases downward. That causes pitching moment on the vehicle, and that's how they can. That's how it flies on its ballistic arc, right? See how the top of the nozzle is open and the bottom of the nozzle is longer? It's an asymmetric nozzle. It's cut diagonally, and that will give you pitching moment. That makes the thing pitch up because the gases are allowed to go up before they're allowed to go down. Before they're allowed to go down. Really, really, really cool. That's really smart.
2 is now gliding, well, not gliding, but momentuming its way up towards apogee.
I believe the term is coasting.
There you go. I didn't have the word in my head.
Didn't the shuttle's ohms have similar nozzles? No. No, the AJ-10s don't have a cut nozzle like that. Hey, there we go.
See, the crew is now
look at
out of
that.
their seats, getting a
The
chance to
seatbelt sign has
experience...
been turned off.
Yeah,
we
it's
recommend keeping your
launched in the air.
seatbelts fastened. All of that speed.
Virgin didn't get a good picture of separation, but we'll see one in the future. It was carrying it right here. The fastener is right there. You see the hold point? Hey, the feather is up. So right now the thing is gonna it's basically gonna go up, right? And that SRB made it want to pitch up. It's gonna pitch up and basically do a flip. So the windows that are at the top of the fuselage are now pointing towards Earth, right? And then it'll just kind of keep rolling and then it'll come back down. It basically is a gigantic loop that it flies.
Fun. And you can see just the look on their faces as they look out the window.
So right now,
It's
the floor of the
almost
aircraft is
awe-inspiring
facing towards
a little
space,
bit
and
here.
the
Yeah.
windows are
You can
facing
even
towards the
notice
Earth. It's
that
upside
rotation
down,
that the whole
like
ship
this.
does, 'cause, like the way that the light comes through the windows, it's different.
Is a hybrid
That's
like
the
this
rotations.
an SRB?
True. So right
It's
now
a
they are
nitrous
getting a
oxide
view of
injected
the
solid
Earth
rocket
from this
booster. Yep.
particular
It's a hybrid. That's a hybrid motor.
that
So
the
you have a
spaceship
liquid
is at.
oxidizer or gaseous oxidizer in this one, in this particular case, and a
they will
solid
have,
rocket fuel.
I believe
Are
few
they in
more
free fall?
minutes
Yeah, the thing is up
to
like this,
enjoy this
and it's
before they
gonna
have to begin
basically flip
strapping back
over
into
and
their
then come
seats
right
in
back down.
anticipation
Yeah, they're in microgravity.
landing.
You're gonna get microgravity
there
for another
were-
couple minutes here.
sorry, but Beth over there on the right just seemed to have been taking a picture with her phone there and helping John out there at the back.
Are they wearing parachutes?
That's
I don't
great.
know.
Again, he's only the second person ever now with Parkinson's to have gone to space, so that's amazing.
Oh, yeah. That's a hell
So
of a
now
shot right there.
it seems
See?
like they're
Look at
getting
her.
ready to
Oh!
the entrance.
That's killer!
There's a kind of flip there.
Yeah!
Still have a heat shield
There's
of
the
any kind, or
mothership
does
right
it
there.
need one? As we
Look
see,
at that shot!
The mothership on the right side of the screen as well.
That's
The
excellent.
entry is low speed enough that they don't need that kind of heat shield that we see for other, orbital vehicles.
Oh,
so yeah,
man.
it doesn't really need. I believe the.
So now, as the vehicle starts getting back down into the atmosphere, because it's basically flying this way, right? The stabilizers are going to want to make the vehicle nose up, and basically want the fuselage of the plane to be basically perpendicular to oncoming laminar flow. That's basically it. Basically turns the whole thing into a gigantic speed brake. If you look, this is a shot off the back, right? The stabilizers, the whole plane can kind of fold in half. That camera is right there looking this way, right? And this basically makes it so the fuselage of the plane wants to fly like this. The airflow is coming at you this way, but I mean, it's obviously going straight down. That's basically a gigantic speed brake that makes it so when they come back down, they don't get as much entry heating. It's called feathering the plane, and yeah, they're slowing down. They're very much slowing down. There's a little bit of yaw here. Okay.
In terms of the actual flying itself, these are people that are hands on the stick flying this back down to the runway at Spaceport America in New Mexico.
Okay. All right.
And this kind of rocking back and forth. We saw it on the last flight as well.
It turns it into a giant speed brake. The reason why she's kind of moving around a little bit is because the atmospheric pressure is getting, the density's going up when you get closer to the ground. Pressure goes up. So that's physically more air hitting the thing. And if more air is getting in the way, you're going to start to get compression, and it's going to start to jostle around a little bit. You're going to get more compression, I should say.
This could also be a Virgin Galactic a clean feed that we have here. But yeah,
What a
whatever it is,
shot.
it's a good track going on. Good track.
This is a great
shortly
picture.
we'll see that unfeather procedure there. So I believe it might be starting now. Actually, I couldn't tell from that altitude, but it will start gliding forwards very shortly.
Now, it is worth pointing out here that so this is Virgin's
get a bonkers
feed
that
that we
thing's
saw
manually
previously. Just want to
flowing. I think
clarify
that's
that,
cool.
but it is completely normal to see this kind of shaking. It is a very
There we go.
Yep, it is.
So look, when they close the feather, did you see the nose of the plane drop? Now it's flying more like a regular airplane.
That's because as the vehicle unfeathered, it needed to gain airspeed, and in order to gain airspeed with a glider, you need to point down because that's the way gravity goes. So you can see it start to point down, and as it unfeathered, that's just to gain airspeed in order to produce the lift it needs in order to glide back to the runway. And from this perspective, everything looks good so far. You can see the New Mexico desert very well with some cloud shadows
cool
in the background there
spacecraft.
as well.
From where over there, Jack is
Did you make this in
pictures
Kerbal
as
yet?
well.
No, I could though.
Right.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful.
it's important to note in that upper level of the atmosphere, we do see this sometime with rockets where
What are those holes in the
as they get
trailing edge?
higher up,
I'd have
they
to look
do
at 'em
have to
again,
combat
Hellfish. I'll look at it
upper
next
level
time we
winds
switch
and
that
forces
camera.
that are kind of knocking them side to side. It's a little more obvious on
mechanism seems
smaller
so
ones,
fragile.
such as Rocket Lab's Electron.
I mean, it is. Stefan, I wouldn't re-enter from orbit with one of these things. Let me tell you that. This is built to be just good enough to go up to about 50 miles and then just come right back down. So stuff is built basically to do just that. And if it tries to exceed that, it's going to happen. The stuff can break if it looks a little fragile. The other thing to take into account is that on airplanes, stuff is allowed to bend. It's allowed to bend and flex. You have to have that give. Because the more you try to make it resist air, right, the more rigid you try to make it, the more susceptible it is to what's called shearing loads, and you could just break stuff off. You don't want that. So, believe it or not, you see an airplane flying around, right? You think like, oh, that wing is super rigid. No, wings have a little bit of play in them. They look a lot more delicate than they actually are. That's on purpose. You got to have a little bit of give, because if you don't, it'll snap the wings off. And then Well, I don't think I need to say why you wouldn't want that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Do I?
Again, it's continuing its nose
Hey, John,
downward,
what's up? Awesome plane.
and
This is a great
will
picture,
continue
dude.
to
Virgin
boost
Galactic is
altitude,
really, really
eventually
cool for
start
giving
to lose
NSF the
speed
feeds.
for a landing, again, once again, on a runway back at Spaceport America. While we're doing this, Ryan, do you have some mission stats for us?
People investing in
How
rocket
high
tech and planes when they
did
got
this
magnetic
particular
stuff floating in the
mission
back.
go
Yeah,
above
George.
apogee?
Hey, I'm not gonna sit here and say like if a room temperature ambient pressure superconductor it becomes a thing. You want Star Wars? That's how you get Star Wars. Like, dude, that. A room temperature ambient pressure semiconductor is something you need. It's a component, not the whole deal, but it's a component that you need if you want something like a Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean? Like, if you want an X-Wing flying up into space, that would definitely help.
Exact apogee that Virgin
I'm not
Galactic
going to
has.
pretend like it wouldn't, but hey, we got to wait on peer review. That's important.
That means the flight went exactly as planned in terms of the upward portion of flight, as we now focus on the return back down.
Jimmy Cricks, he's been quiet today. Hellfish Jimmy Cricks has been quiet today.
Let's see here. Everything looking good so far. We're trying to get altitude data on it currently as well. At the moment, it is currently dropped off of the flight radar, which obviously it did as well during launch, and once it got to supersonic speeds.
My boyfriend was talking about room temperature superconductors the other day. I mean, yeah, it's some real nerd stuff. Anybody that's a Star Trek fan knows, like, should understand, like, superconductors. Like, I'm not trying to gatekeep Star Trek or anything, right? But superconductors are one of those things, like, it's one of those, like, background things that's not going to directly make, like, this crazy Super Jetsons future, but it could lead to that. It's like, think about it like concrete, like mixing concrete or making steel. Right? Making steel is such a huge component to modern civilization, right? But nobody sits there and dwells on, like, how you make the steel, right? Superconductors is one of those background things that can get us to the Jetsons. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if you hear people talking about it, like, you know, the second anybody got wind that something like that could happen, everyone's like, oh, future, you know?
At them from inside the cabin. I believe their backpacks are parachutes. That has been confirmed.
Non-human biologics. Non-human biologics. What if they found like a goat in it or something? That's technically non-human biologics, guys. You know, I'm not saying the goats have some type of superior technology, but I'm not saying it was goats. But it was goats. That's technically non-human.
Have question-wise about the landing here in the meantime. We do have a question here.
It was the Dolphins.
About the
yes,
re-entry,
precisely.
saying, is the bearing for the re-entry into the atmosphere pre-planned?
Yeah,
do the
Hotbox.
pilots
I'll
have to
wait
adjust
until
once the
we'll wait
feathers
until some
deactivate?
official capacity. Here.
Alex, I'll put that one to you.
Do they track the vehicle
Well,
with
I'm
a tail
sure
number?
they have
Yeah,
some
Chimp.
pre-planned,
Absolutely.
Directions for that. But obviously, they probably have to correct in, like...
So the tail number is November 202 Victor Golf. That's the tail number for that plane. Yes, if it's free flying with people on board, it needs a transponder. So yeah, and a tail number. It needs to be registered with the FAA if it goes above 1,000 feet. Actually, I think it's more now, or less now, but because drones. But if you fly above a certain altitude, so like how airspace works, and I'm not sure if you know this, Chimp, but you probably do because of the question that you asked. But in case anybody doesn't know, like 0 to 1,000 feet or about 300 meters is kind of whatever, right? Except if you're near an airport. Like an airport, that space where the airport is you don't fly stuff there because they need to land the planes, right? So from 1,000 to 18,000 feet, that is you. Actually, if you really want, 1,000 to 18,000 is VFR stuff. So if you're just flying by looking out the window, right? And then 18,000 to 60,000 is where like you really like that's IFR, like flying by the instruments up way up there. That's where commercial airliners are and stuff, right? And then 60,000 and above is meh. So if basically what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're above 1,000 feet, you need a tail number, you need the vehicle inspected by the Federal Aviation Administration, and you need a license. That's kind of important.
Gravity energy that goes downwards. So all of that added together.
SR-71 moment.
Through
LA Center,
training,
speed check.
Make it to the runway. And like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I'll bring it up again. The runway...
You only have to go to the FAA for drones if you're using it commercially. That makes sense, Cross. I'm not too familiar on the drone stuff,
runways,
but
and,
with the plane stuff I know.
Longest runway.
It's not automatic, Quartz. They're flying.
So
There's two pilots at the front of
and compared to, you know,
at the front of Unity here that are circling. They're circling a runway. They're going to come in for a landing.
This is a very small glider,
like shuttle style.
And the
it's pretty cool.
Flying
with the stick.
With
the whole thing is manually controlled. There's no autopilot. I mean, obviously you don't want to like.
Which also helps slow down the
you can't steer the SRB, right? So once the SRB kind of goes, you might be able to shut it off by depriving oxidizer, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part,
actually what I saw.
They're flying with the stick, which is really cool. Not this one.
Going along that lines of the energy
this is
map,
not the
you can see
controls for
right
that,
now,
but it could be.
It's doing what looks like a giant circle. Not necessarily to line itself up with the runway, I mean, part of that, but...
And you can see it there in the bottom right there, Spaceport at the terminal at Spaceport America
that's
and the
cool.
runway are in sight. So in aviation terms, they're not flying a traditional circuit pattern, but for a brief moment there, technically,
the chase plane is with them.
You could say they were downwind for the runway, but it looks like they are circling around now. And
what they're doing right here is a heading alignment turn. That is really cool pilot speak for saying line the plane up with the runway before you go to land on the runway. You probably want to be lined up with it when you go to land on it. It makes the landing a little bit easier if you're pointing at the runway. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, you know. Like, that actually is a huge bank, though. That's a really steep heading alignment turn.
While, in addition, lighting it
up.
Oh,
there's the chase plane.
The runway.
Oh, cool.
the chase plane as well.
All right.
Yeah,
the ground
so
getting a lot closer.
Okay, on final. Here we go.
To the left there, and the flight tracking data is a little bit wonky here, but the ground is steadily approaching. They've stopped banking. They are straight lined up now, and I believe we have a fantastic image. There's the runway, and it looks like
50.
we should, fingers crossed, get a butter landing for Spaceship
50.
2. A little bit of a float
40,
there, and is it
30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Very buttery smooth. Very nice, good sir. Very nice. Very smooth landing. That was very good. They deployed the speed brake. That was very, very, very nice. Look at that thing, man. The thing was just up in space. That's so cool. So they had a speed brake. Note that the speed brake deployed on one side. They deployed it on the bottom. Because they don't, if they deployed it on the top, the whole thing, you don't want the nose to come up. It looks like this vehicle, because it's basically a delta wing, has a lot of positive pitch moment during landing. Basically, the nose wants to go up because you have that huge wing that's compressing air underneath. So deploying the speed brake disrupts the air underneath the bottom of the plane and keeps the nose down during landing. You see how it kind of just kept it on two wheels for a little while until it slowed down enough? Cool, huh? There's wheel stop. Convoy 1, wheel stop. Wheel stop. No front tire. Yep. Everything is saving mass, Ajox. They have a basically a skid. Think of it like a pencil eraser. Basically. Yeah.
At around 9:33 a.m.
What's the idea of the skid? Well, there's the pressure vessel there. You can't really fit a wheel up there now, can you? No, seriously, that's it. There's a cockpit in the way. There's no room for the landing gear. That's why they use a skid. Dream Chaser from Sierra Space does the same thing, or will do the same thing when it flies next year. Yeah, and you're saving mass. The skid is much easier. The skid is really easy to replace. It's less mass, and you can fit it. Like, if they show an external shot of the plane, you'll see where the landing gear is right below where the flight deck is. There's no room for a tire. Why are they not standing up in the aisle immediately upon landing? Well, the fasten seatbelt sign is still on. You think someone would do that? Just ignore the fasten seatbelt sign on an airplane? all the time in commercial. Yeah, yeah, right. You think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? How you doing, Delvikin? I'm fine. How are you? There's a fasten seatbelt sign. I don't think there's a fasten seatbelt sign on this, man. It was a joke. I don't think so, but there might be. Maybe. Oh, that's nice, Signer. They don't look very happy for people that just went to space. I mean, Doom, I'd be a little pissed to be back down on the ground. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, think about it. Like, you know, you're just up in space. You just had a freaking $1 million view, you know, and now you're back on the ground. Wow, that blows. You know, like, back on the ground? Damn it. Am I right? I don't know about you. I'd be a little pissed. I'd be like, can we do that again, please? There actually is, though. The sign is for unstrapping after engine, but to tell you to get back to your seat. You're right, Vulcan. It counts. Hey, Max Fox, thank you for the raid. We just watched these four go up into space for a second. It's pretty freaking cool, actually. I mean, would you fly Virgin Galactic with a pilot named Ted Stryker? I absolutely would, yeah. No, Ted Stryker is a very strong pilot name. Yeah. Welcome, Raiders. Hey, Max Fox Raiders. What was the beautiful Miss Max Fox up to today? No sword sawing today? Maybe? Yes? No? Played Star Citizen and Icarus. All right, cool. Cool, cool. No sword, sadly, today. Terms of service. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, not really, but I get where you come from. Icarus, hell yeah, and Star Citizen. Sweet, that's awesome. Anyway, welcome. Recovery crew is going and getting the crew out of that thing. That thing just went up into space. That's pretty neat. Yeah, see, look at the skid. There ain't no room for a tire up there. They have a skid plate on the front landing gear and 2 wheels on the back. But we did cool space stuff on Star Citizen. Cool space stuff, you say? You know, I'm somewhat of a cool space stuff guy myself. Where you going? No, come back. Boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You're now free to move about the cabin. That's why you're here for cool space stuff. All right, sweet. We're still here? All right. Nice. Can't wait for Starfield. Yeah, Max Fox, I'm going to play that. I'm going to play it. We'll see what's up. I'm kind of on with Todd Howard after Fallout 76, but we'll see. We'll see what's good. And Cities. Oh. Yeah, Cities 2 looks good. Good. Yeah, good. She's the flight attendant. That is Virgin Galactic's internal astronaut, hypersonic. Yeah. So yes, I'm not going to reduce her job to a flight attendant. That would be very mean. But she's basically the astronaut coach, the instructor. Basically, that would be a better way to say it. No backwards compatibility, guys. I don't think so. Only after 76, not after Oblivion. No comment. But yes. I mean, I'd take the flight attendant job any day of the week. I mean, for this hypersonic, yeah, I'll take the flight attendant job. That's fine. Yeah, I'd do that too. You could call me flight attendant. You could even call me stewardess. I don't care. You get to fly into space. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, that's right, Eric. Yeah, mm-hmm. Cities 2 looks mint. They took off the air data probe. Yeah, Forger was telling me this, Rocket Guy, on the last, when I did the 01 mission over at NASA Spaceflight. He was in chat, and Forger was a test pilot for this plane. He was telling me that they have to remove the pitot sensor to get the tow bar. They have to, not the pitot sensor, it's whatever avionics package is at the front of the plane. To get the tow bar on there, you have to remove it because you can't just attach the tow bar to the skid. That's not going to get you very far. It's not a wheel. Like, I mean, Rocket, I know you know that. Some other people might not know that. I don't know if you noticed. The front landing gear is not a wheel. It's a skid plate. They do that to save mass and reduce complexity. But to get the tow bar on there, you got to take the pitot off. He was actually telling me about that. And, like, I was kind of like, should I just keep listening to Forger? But then I was like, you know, I don't like just regurgitating everything that the man says, but also he helped design this, so that's probably a good idea. I don't know, Ripari, I'm not sure. The pitot sensor, it's P-I-T-O-T. Yeah, see, there's the tow bar, and the tow bar has to have wheels on it because there's no wheels right there. I'm not sure what those two are doing, but yeah, still cool. I must raid and run. Take care of my chat. Your chat's in good hands, ma'am. America. Cowboy hats and stuff. Actually, you want to know what's funny, Max Fox? That's as foreign to me as it is to you. I don't live in that part of the U.S. I got your back. But I do like those guys. They're cool. The Land Rover, how British is it? It's a British company. I don't know what you want. Yeehaw. It's like someone from Adelaide meeting someone from Perth. It's just like, okay. So what's that like? The ocean's on the other side of the compass. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. It's like saying, "G'day, mate." It's not actually that kind of Aussie. Yeah. Land Rover is Indian owned. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Tata Motors owns it, Jungle. Oh, I could be mean. I could be mean. Oh, damn you, 15-year-old brain. Oh, maybe the British should use a car that actually is made and owned by a British company. Oh, wait, you don't have one. Oh, I just pissed off so many people. I'm sorry. My book on how to lose friends and alienate people is coming out very soon. Ugh. I'm sorry. I know, I suck. I get it. Too late, you just said it. It's not good. Nice space station, though, RJ. That's cool. Ugh. Damn. Yeah, I sold off so many things like that after all. Read, honestly, like, okay, real note. One of the most moving episodes of Top Gear that I've ever watched was the one where they go to all the automobile factories. They buy cars and they go to the factories where they're made and they're all abandoned. That pissed me off for you. Let me put it to you like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's not... that made me a little upset, man. You know? You suck, but our car manufacturing sucks more. Yeah. Sucks. Yeah. That was one of the most moving episodes I've ever seen. Like, it really bothered me. I was not happy about that. I mean, we have that too. I mean, Detroit, like, there's a lot of abandoned factories. Actually, they're not even abandoned anymore. They just bulldoze them. It's just a huge concrete slab. It looks like when you start in Satisfactory, you just build a big concrete slab. That's what it looks like. It's horrible to see, you know? Like, I don't mean to be on a down note, but yeah, no, for real though. Like, I was being a jerk, but man, did that piss me off. There's a Defender in there, Alleviate? Was it a new one or an old one? Because I like the old ones. The new ones, it's too much of a footballer car. You know what I'm talking about? I want an old Defender. I want like a Series 2. That's not even a Defender. I was Series 2 Land Rover. Now we're talking. New one. Worth keeping in mind that what they lack in car manufacturing, they also lack in food. Ooh. Ooh. You chose violence today. I thought I was bad. Jeez. Hey, you know what? I'll be real. I could get down on beans on toast. That's fine. Some nice sweet baked beans on buttered toast. Yeah, I'll eat that. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. That sounds good. Sounds fine to me. Simple, easy to make. I don't have a problem here. ATL, we had a Ford plant here in Atlanta. They bulldozed it and turned it into a movie studio lot. That's good. Dude, you're a human garbage disposal. You dunk the toast in a bowl of beans yourself. Ah, you pucha the toast. Very nice. Yeah, yeah, Tessa. That's like what I do with a good marinara sauce. Yes. Yeah, AP, I could get down on that. Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, you might as well go jump in the harbor. I mean, someone. I'll take my cheeseburger, thank you very much. But I could eat beans on toast. We could do that. That's all they have, though? I mean, the lager is pretty good. Not that I've ever been, but... Do you like fried calamari with marinara? Nah, I'm not that much of a seafood guy, dude. I know. I'm from Boston. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, alleviate that. Now we're talking. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, Defenders go hard, man. I like those things a lot. Those are nice trucks. Fish and chips. I don't like the fish part, dude, but I could eat chips all day. Full English breakfast. I could get down on that too. Oh, absolutely. I'm American. Of course I could. Actually, alleviate here. Let me show you in terms of Land Rovers what I'm all about. You want to know what my style is with Land Rovers? LRDP, baby. That's my style with Land Rover. I mean, the gun part is cool, but we don't need that part. I just want the truck. Like, just the truck with the tires and the shovels and... That's what I'm talking about. LRDP. If you know, you know. Long Range Desert Patrol. Screw that. The guns make the truck. I mean, I'm not going to say no if someone gave me an LRDP Land Rover with 2 Bren guns mounted on the hood. Like, I'm not going to say no to that. Like, why would you say no to that? But, you know, I'll just take the truck. That's fine. If I have to. So, a little bit of context behind that. Long Range Desert Patrol is what eventually became the British Special Air Service in World War II. The LRDP guys were scouting German positions in the Northern Sahara in the early 1940s when the Brits were fighting the Germans. That LRDP merged with a Special Operations Squadron, and that became the SAS. That's why LRDP Land Rovers are cool. They also used Willys Jeeps, which were Fords, which is also cool. Yeah, they had Willys. They had Willys and Series 1 or Series 2 Land Rovers. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I could get down on that. That's fine. No, you're cool. No, you're breathtaking. This. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. There's also SBS. They're now just combined as British Special Forces. I mean, SBS is cool, Alleviate, but they're not like David Sterling, you know, like Patty Main cool. You know what I'm talking? You know what I mean? World War II Jeep or Kubelwagen? Jeep. Kubelwagens are cool, but most of the Jeeps in World War II weren't made by Jeep. They're Fords. So, you know, I'll take the Jeep. The Ford Jeep. SBS and SAS are the same thing now. Reindeer, you worked with the SAS in Afghanistan? Who are you? You worked with the SAS in Afghanistan. It was hilarious how many of them wore American patches on their webbing because they had to blame somebody. I don't know why that's funny, but that's pretty funny. I don't know why that's funny, but also I'm laughing. little tongue in cheek there.
Of Galactic 02, thanks again to Virgin Galactic for the views that we got from them as well, and thank you for watching.
All right, that's it. Well, that was good coverage there. Kind of started talking about off-road vehicles at the end, but hey, whatever. Awesome launch. You guys want to see it again? What is on the schedule? I was going to keep working on Star Raker. I kind of want to finish the dang thing. Here, let's see the replay. But trends. We need... Here's the good part. Oh, yeah. Now, this is a replay, but man, that's cool. Rip It? I know what Rip It is. They fit perfectly in a grenade pouch. We used to trade our Yorkie bars for them. Yeah, okay. Alex, Star Raker never got past Phase A design. So, quite, well, literally, it never got off the drawing board. And literally is used actually in the right context there. Yeah, there were literally meaning there was only books. It never got off the drawing board. They did some preliminary analysis, but the design was abandoned because the oil crisis stopped. How's KSP 2? That's 1 on the day. It's okay. We're gonna play KSP 2 next Wednesday. We'll do a Wings Wednesday over there, and we'll build something cool. You have so many stories along those lines. That's cool, Red. Yeah. Nice. That plane is a weird design. Reminds me of a YF-118. Oh yeah, that thing. Repost. Oh, I actually meant to ask. I've been gone for the past week or so because Canada. How far along is Star Raker? I'll show you. I started sculpting more wings, but I had to reteach myself my workflow for wing tessellation. I honestly forgot. So on Monday, I literally sat here and I remade the back upper wing on Star Raker probably 10 to 15 times. It was like a 13-hour stream. I just sat there and literally brute forced the workflow back into my brain. Like, I'm like, no, that's not how I did it. Let's try this. No, that's not how I did it. Let's try this. No. All right, let's try this. No, yeah. And I finally figured out the workflow behind it. Yeah. Like, you have to adjust the wings in a certain order to get a really nice shape. And if you don't adjust them in the right order, it'll look horrible. Yeah. So, got that going for me, which is nice. EJ, Just Flight just released an F4 for Flight Simulator. Tessellation Purgatory. Yeah, passing. I had forgotten how to do it. I forgot how to do it right. Yeah. I forgot. I had to sit there and brute force that knowledge right back into my head. Like, basically the express version of when it took me a month to figure out how to do it right when we first figured out a way to do it. Like, it worked. I can do it. I remembered eventually. Here, let me load up KSP. I'll show you. Star Raker.